Okay, next class of steers, the black and white steers. Leading off the class is a really cool stout-made package. He's quite mobile in his movement and huge topped and big base width and little chrome on his head. He's just a total attractive package. In the second, a little different type of steer. He's a little more scale, a little more frame, a little more length, but very, very attractive. Nice look when he's walking, and when you get him posed, he's just super attractive. Big topped as well. That little extra length always goes well when you're hanging up a carcass. He'll dress out with a really good percentage. Moving into the third steer, he's just a real stout meat wagon. He gives up the length, especially compared to the into the fourth place steer, the standing off side of the ring. Rough day today, but really good steer in his own right. Very moderate, very sound individual, as you can see by his athletic actions around the ring. Into the next steer here, again, very long-sided, clean-fronted. He's a little bolder in his shoulder and in his makeup, and he'll be a little bit leaner compared to the ones above him, but really stout, very attractive package. Modern in his frame score. He'll surprise you what he'll dress out as well. Moving into the next steer, he's just a little plainer to look at, but very well finished steer. He'll probably surprise you also when you put him up on the rail. He looks like a steer that will marble. He's very soft-made and easy doing in his type and kind. Rounding out the class, a very complete, a little rounder muscled type steer, but very good in his own right as well.
Placings for Class 3 black and white steers in the Queen's Guineas competition. In first place, Cole McPherson from Lucknow, Ontario. In second place, Reagan Hassan from East Garifraxa, Ontario. In third place, Cassidy Pryor from Amherstburg, Ontario. In fourth place, Emma Brooks from Teeswater, Ontario. In fifth place, Rodney Podlinski from Alvingston, Ontario. In sixth place, Matthew McPherson, also from Alvingston, Ontario. And in seventh place, Brendan Eddy from Paris, Ontario. Returning for the showmanship competition, Cole McPherson and Reagan Hassan. Now in the north ring, we have our first heat of intermediate showmen. HS Nils is kindly sponsoring the Daily Herdsman Award. Each day, one herd out in the barn will be chosen, and the presentations will be made on Sunday just prior to the Supreme Champion selection. Thank you, HS Nil. Returning for the semifinals from Intermediate Showmanship Heat number 1, and as I call your name, please take a few steps forward, is number 142, Jordan Burns from Wellington. Ring number 146, Owen Elmhurst from Peterborough. And ring number 161, Travis Fulford from Gray. Jordan, you'll return in semifinal heat number 3, Owen in heat number 1, and Travis semifinal heat number 2.
Okay, this next class of steers into the first class of solid black steers. This one that starts the class comes here quite handily. It's a very impressive steer from every angle you look at him. Really high quality, high end steer. He's so stout and he can get out and he can walk. He looks fresh, he's well finished, a nice tone to his finish. He's really big topped and wide based and has that, that real attractive look and proudness and appearance to him. Next two steers are quite similar in their type. I switched them at the end here. This steer comes in next, is a little smoother, a little easier going, balanced steer, very attractive again, a clean front and patterns after the first place steer. I'll link a little more closely today. Steer in third, he looks really good standing still. He gets to roach you a little bit when he walks, but really big tops. Really well finished steer. He has a lot of quality to him. Super clean fronted. Into the next steer, just giving up a little bit of weight and stuff for the steers above him, but very complete, very smooth made. He's going to have a hell of a dressing percentage. I really like the design of this steer. If he just had a little more time, he'd definitely bump up the class. And rounding out the class, this is a very high quality class, right from top to bottom. This steer is really stout and very, very good, very wide based, and a lot of good in him as well.
Judge Dolliver has made his selections for class number 4, black steers. And in first place, we have Bailey McConnell from Kincardine, Ontario. In second place, Flynn Reinhardt from Princeton, Ontario. In third place, Brad Retz from Chatham, Ontario. In fourth, Laura Barfoot, Wallacestown, Ontario. And in fifth, Dean Ryan, Dashwood, Ontario. Returning for the showmanship competition, Bailey McConnell and Brad Retz. Returning for the semifinals from heat number 2, intermediate showman, is ring number 190, Brent Clydesdale from Peterborough. Ring number 212, Haley Conley from Northumberland. And ring number 332, Alyssa Mills from Nova Scotia. Haley, you'll return in semifinal heat number 2. Brent, semifinal heat number 3, and Alyssa, semifinal heat number 1. We would like to remind all participants in the National Junior Beef Heifer Show that aerosol sprays are not permitted in the marshalling area nor in the walkway leading up to the marshalling area. So once again, National Junior Beef Heifer Show competitors, no aerosols in the marshalling area. Thank you. Returning for the semifinals and asked to take a few steps forward is ring number 119, Jacob Bott from Wellington. Ring number 201, Brady Hassan from Dufferin. And ring number 330, Brittany Sherry from Peterborough. Brady, you'll return in semifinal heat number 1, Jacob in heat number 2, Brittany heat number 3.
Okay, here in the steer ring, the next class of black steers. Again, one that comes to the top of the class, very handily, very impressive steer. I love him again from every angle that you look at him. He's so sound, and this when he's carrying this much muscle mass and width and condition in this stage of the game, he's doing great. Extremely attractive. When you get him stopped, he looks good on the move. He's a big, powerful top steer. Just a lot of good in him. Following along in second is a little bit different type of steer, maybe a little more frame, a little bit flatter made, but extremely attractive. And again, on the profile, he looks very deadly today. On down the line, this the group of steer gets a little bit different in type and soundness. The next steer that comes along, very stout individual, lots of lower quarter in him. Steer's going to dress out very well, very clean fronted, very lack of waist. Next steer comes in, maybe one of the better finished steers of the class. He has some good tone and a really good finish to him. Big top, big deep top, really good carcass kind of steer. Next two steers are a little bit more moderate in their frame, also shows up in their weight. The next steer walking out is a very smooth-made, very easy fleshing type of steer. I imagine he has taken a whole lot of feed to get to this point. Rounding out the class, just a little plainer to look at, but a really big-topped and very good steer. It's a good class of steers right from top to bottom.
In our second class of black steers in the Queen's Guineas competition, first place goes to Ashley McConnell from Kincardine, Ontario. Second place to Joey Miller from Tecumseh, Ontario. In third place, Jesse Shaw from Alvinston, Ontario. Fourth, Trevor Dobbin, Petrolia, Ontario. Fifth, Zachary Hale from Ilderton, Ontario. And in sixth place, Milana Hunt, also from Alvinston, Ontario. Ashley McConnell is asked to return for the showmanship competition. From intermediate showmanship heat number 4, returning for the semifinals, ring number 31, Mark Anderson from Lambton. And ring number 321, Kent Ryby from Bruce. Kent, you'll return in heat number 1, Mark in heat number 2. Returning for the semifinals is ring number 109, Samuel Dempsey from Quebec. Ring number 213, Cole Fallis from Peterborough. And ring number 217, Grace Squire from Gray. Grace, you'll return for semifinal heat number 2. Cole, heat number 3, and Samuel, heat number 1.
Tomorrow, the other side. One for the pharmacy and one for the. Thank you. The pop, cookies, sandwich, but I don't have the vodka. I'm gonna bring the vodka. Vodka and wine.
Semex is the fastest growing genetic company in the world, leading in all areas of dairy, beef, and embryos. Together with its owners, WestGen, EastGen, and CIAQ, Semex is a proud supporter of the Royal and looks forward to welcoming guests from all over the world to see the best compete on Canada's most prestigious national stage, the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair.
Okay, this next set of black steers, top 2 steers come to the top here quite handily. They're very attractive, really nice designed steers, definite show steers. Steer leading off, I think just a little wider based and more lower quarter and more red meat in him. He's very clean-fronted and travels fair enough for today. Then a close second, very attractive steer, and you see him on the profile. Really neat package, and heads up and catches your eye when he comes in the ring, kind of steer. Into the third place steer, he's a little plainer and slicker haired, but a really good steer and strong topped and fluid enough in his movement, and just really smooth made and excellent finish on this steer. He's going to hang up a excellent carcass. Next steer coming out, he more of the show steer with the hair coat and the style and the clean front, and just giving up the soundness and that little lower quarter compared to the steers above him. And rounding out the class is a big powerhouse steer, huge topped, big muscle steer. He just gives up the style for today, but more of the real meat and potatoes kind of steer that will make you some dollars.
And in our final class of the Queen's Guineas competition, first place goes to Grace Cool from Tara, Ontario. Second place, Samantha McNeil from Glencoe, Ontario. In third place, Brady Cochran from Paris, Ontario. And in fourth place, Garrett McNabb from Chatsworth, Ontario. And in fifth place, Ben Rose from Chatham, Ontario. Just a reminder that we will be having the showmanship competition at the conclusion of selection for the grand champion animal. Just a reminder to those who've been called back for the showmanship competition, from class number 1, Jared Scott. From class number 2, Daniel Barfit and Emily Dunk. From class number 3, Cole McPherson and Reagan Hassan. In class number 4, Bailey McConnell and Brad Retz. In class number 5, Ashley McConnell. And in class number 6, Grace Cool. For intermediate showmanship, heat number 6, the following 2 participants will return for the semifinals. Ring number 48, Grace Reynolds from Nova Scotia. And ring number 249, Morgan Edwards from New Brunswick. Grace, you'll return in semifinal heat number 1, Morgan in heat number 2.
Don't read the rest of it, because that was my speech this morning.
We are pleased to acknowledge some special guests with us today. Shannon Benner, the CEO of 4-H Canada, and the Honorable Lawrence Macaulay, Canada's Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food. Mr. Macaulay has been a Member of Parliament for Cardigan in Prince Edward Island since 1988. Before entering politics, he was a successful dairy farmer and seed potato farmer. Welcome, Minister Macaulay.
Thank you very much, and it's certainly a privilege to be from Prince Edward Island, the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food for Canada, and to come to a class show like the Royal. Many years ago, my father showed seed potatoes here, and it was quite an honor even to be here, and to be here as your Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food. I can assure you it's a great privilege indeed. This is a class act. This show is a class act, not only in Canada, but worldwide. Again, it's a privilege to be here. Enjoy the show. It does so much for our agricultural sector. Thank you very much.
In the South Ring, Judge John Dolliver is about to make his selection for the Grand Champion animal. This is a reminder for all competitors in the Queen's Guineas competition. At the conclusion of the showmanship class, there will be a photograph taken of the reserve champion and grand champion animals, along with all of the exhibitors in the Queen's Guineas. Please be sure to make your way to the marshalling area at the conclusion of the showmanship class.
Okay, yeah, let's give these young people a round of applause. This is a really neat deal. I'm a big fan of the junior shows and getting these young Canadian farmers started off, and they learn so much when they come out to these events and interact with fellow people that are doing the same thing, the same passion, and the same care as what they're doing. And you get to, as you continue on from this, you travel around North America and even parts of the world that you meet so many people, and it's just a really good event. And what a powerful set of high quality steers and heifers, market animals out in this class. I'm very excited to be here to be able to do this and see it all. I'm not a man of many words, but I hope I can explain myself well enough to get through it. For today, I really want a well-balanced, very eye-appealing steer. I like lots of width and lots of base, and you'll find some of these are moderate packages with a whole lot of pounds in them, and to me, that's the whole name of the game. You want level tops and deep quarters, and go along with a lot of style and pizzazz, and something that really catches your eye when they come out in the ring. Really makes that show steer, and you got to enter in a little bit of the functionality. They got to be somewhat free moving, and I know when they get to this stage that it's a little tough. They're heavy in weight, and standing on the cement, I know I can sympathize with them. I don't move out as free as I used to either. So anyway, I'm going to go pick my top 3 steers of what I like today, and really enjoyed doing this job today. Thank you.
Returning for the semifinals in the National Junior Beef Heifer Show Intermediate Showmanship Heat number 7 is ring number 162, Cassidy Pinkham from Carleton, and ring number 234, Aiden Long from Haldeman.
For the guineas presenting the award is my name, Nancy Brown Anderson, on the Board of Governors. Nancy Brown Anderson, Andison, Board of Governors, the Royal.
Congratulations on being named Grand Champion of the 2017 Queen's Guineas competition. Ring number 19, Bailey McConnell. Bailey is being presented a banner by Nancy Brown Anderson on the Board of Governors for the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair. And reserve champion goes to ring 24, Ashley McConnell. Also being presented a banner by Nancy Brown Anderson.
already spoke. Okay, I don't need to say anything else.
I handed out the ribbons.
Bailey and Ashley
Bailey and Ashley.
are the two winners.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Cole McPherson was honorable mention. Lovely.
Bale, can you just give me Bailey and Ashley? Bailey, Ashley, that's okay. I'll just remember it if I write it down. And
And then Cole.
Cole. Bailey, Ashley, Cole. Just want to take a... On behalf of the Royal Agriculture Winter Fair, I'd just like to congratulate the Queen's Guineas competitors on an absolutely outstanding show this year. Great group of steers that were brought out by these young people. I'd like to congratulate Bailey and Ashley, our sister grand champions. I think that's maybe a first for the Royal. Well done to them. And I'd like to say a big thank you on behalf of the Royal to all of the volunteers who make this show work so well, and to all the behind the scenes, the parents, the families, the grandparents, the friends, everybody that supports these young people coming out to the Royal. The young people shows are absolutely the highlight of the Royal for me every year. The young people are not only the future of agriculture, but they are the future of our continuing Royal. Congratulations to everyone.
Now entering the south ring is the showmanship portion of the Queen's Guineas competition. Returning for semifinals from heat number 8 is ring number 39, Alex Colts from Huron County. Ring number 181, Denver Bolton from Frontenac. And ring number 219, Caitlin Kavanaugh from Carleton. Denver, you'll return in semifinal heat number 1. Alex, heat number 2. And Caitlin, heat number 3. Can we please have Ben Rhodes to the announcers table? Ben Rhodes to the announcers table in the Ring of Excellence. Thank you.
Okay, to round off the day, we're into the showmanship class. How about give these young folks a round of applause? They're extremely talented. Everyone out here is an awesome show person. They could show my cattle any day they wanted and do a better job than myself. Today I'm just going to pick what stands out to me. I know you can praise just about all of them and how well they've done, but a lot of it's just knowing your animal and anticipating the next action and keeping the flow going and spacing yourself. It's just kind of a total package and to me a preference, and I'll go pick out your Grand and Reserve show people for today.
The Queen's Guineas Grand Champion Showperson Award. This is the 30th consecutive year that Doug Lemon and his family have sponsored a Silver Tray Award for the Grand Champion Queen's Guineas Showperson. Doug's involvement in 4-H spans 62 years. As a 4-H member, he competed at the Queen's Guineas. After 4-H ended, Doug became a 4-H leader, coaching the next round of Queen's Guineas competitors. Doug became a sponsor of 4-H and was chair of the Royals Youth Committee during the Year of the Youth. He was excited to lead a group that expanded youth activities at the Royal and promoted participation by 4-Hers from all across Canada. Most recently, Doug has been a 4-H parent and is happy to have his daughters Emily and Karen continue the 4-H legacy. Making today's presentation to our Grand Champion Showperson is Emily Lemon. Grand Champion Showperson for the 2017 Queen's Guineas competition is Jarrett Scott from Drumbo, Ontario. In the South Ring, those moving on to semifinals from Intermediate Showmanship Heat number 9 are ring number 21, Mitch McCready from Lennox and Addington. Ring number 106, Blair McGlashan from York. And ring number 152, Morgan McIntyre from Carleton. The Reserve Grand Champion Showperson from the Queen's Guineas competition, congratulations go to Daniel Barfitt. The Chris Coulter Memorial Sportsman Award. To honor his memory, the family of Chris Coulter proudly presents this award to a 4-H member in the Queen's Guineas that demonstrates enthusiasm and dedication. Chris was an avid 4-H member in the Owen Sound Beef Club in Grey County in the 80s and 90s. It was his dedication, enjoyment, enthusiasm, and excellence to the 4-H program that we pay tribute to Chris. He truly enjoyed the spirit of competition and many friends and memories he made as he competed at the local, county, and provincial levels, including the Queen's Guineas and the National Junior Beef Heifer Show. This award is presented to a Queen's Guineas exhibitor that demonstrates enthusiasm, dedication, cooperation, and teamwork, shows good public relations, and represents the 4-H philosophy. We'd like to ask Ben Rhodes to come forward to accept the Chris Coulter Memorial Sportsmanship Award from Emily Lemon. Congratulations, Chris. For the Queen's Guineas Competition Herdsman Award, first place goes to Chatham, Kent. Second place goes to Bruce County. And third place for the Queen's Guineas Herdsman Award goes to Lambton. Moving forward to the semifinals from heat number 10 is ring number 19, Kennedy Howe from Middlesex. Ring number 130, Shaylee McGee from Northumberland. And ring number 239, Abby Dubis from Perth. Kennedy, you'll return in semifinal heat number 4, Shaylee, also heat number 4, and Abby, heat number 3. The National Junior Beef Heifer Show would like to thank our major sponsor, Masterfeeds. In addition, Semex, with its partners WestGen, EastGen, and CIAQ. The Beef Farmers of Ontario, Dominion Regalia, Green Tractors, the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair, the Watson family, Designed Stitches Custom Embroidery, the Wellington Advertiser, Top Stock Magazine. And again, a big thank you to our major sponsor, Masterfeeds. Returning for the semifinals from intermediate showmanship, heat number 10, is ring number 19, Kennedy Howe from Middlesex. Ring number 130, from heat number 11, ring number 145, Sydney Maggie, returning for semifinals heat number 3. Ring number 182, Ryan Clark from Haldeman, returning for heat number 4. And ring number 286, Bradley Fergus from Dufferin, also returning for semifinal heat number 4. Returning for semifinals is ring number 73, Tyler Murray from Huron. And ring number 274, Haley Packer from Gray. Both Tyler and Haley will return for semifinal heat number 4. In the South Ring, this is our first class of the Charlet Show. Our judge for today's show is Alan Marshall. Alan Marshall has been involved in the cattle industry his entire life. Growing up, he was an integral part of his family's feedlot operation. He started his purebred Charlet herd in 1981 and began farming independently in 1984. He married his wife Leona in 1992, and together they have 4 children, Luke, Jade, Ward, and Brett, who are heavily involved in agriculture and their family operation, Future Farms. Alan's business has grown significantly over the years and now consists of over 300 purebred Charlet cows, 500 commercial cows, and a background feedlot. Along with creating a successful operation, Alan has been heavily involved in industry associations. His involvement began as a 4-H member and then a leader. He has recently served terms on the Canadian Beef Breeds Council as both a board member and president, and has spent many years serving terms both in the past and present on the Canadian Charolais Association Board. Alan and his family have exhibited cattle at shows across Western Canada, and Alan has judged multiple shows, including Agribition, Beef Expo in Quebec, and the Brandon Ag X. Welcome, Alan, to the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair.
We've got an excellent class of heifers to start with today. This young class shows their youthfulness and their freedom of movement. I really like the heifer we start the class with, the most complete package. I like her front end. I like the femininity in her head, and she's got a nice wide base. The heifer we have in second, maybe the most muscular heifer in the class. She just gives up a little bit of prettiness right in the front end and the top of her head. That heifer in third place shows a lot of growth and promise and performance. The heifer we have in fourth, I'd like to just clean up her bottom line a little bit, and lacking a little performance, or maybe quite a bit younger too on those younger heifers.
Returning for the semifinals from intermediate showmanship heat number 13 is ring number 133, Montana Stillman Loist, representing Peterborough, and ring number 164, Lucas Williams from Dufferin. Montana, you'll return in semifinal heat number 4, Lucas, heat number 3. Results for Class 1 in our Charolais show are as follows. In first place, Barry Potter, Potter Charolais, with BPL Potter's Elise 23E. In second place, Kyle Stevenson, Stevenson Stock Show, with SSS Echo 5E. In third place, R. Brian Hicks, Hicks Charolais, with Hicks Liam Edna 32E. And in fourth place, Brian Coughlin, Corner View Charolais, with Corner View Unfocused 68E. And in fifth place, Mark DeGurse, Anarock Charolais, Anarock Bonnie 12E. Now in the South Ring is class number 2 of our Charolais show.
This second class of heifer calves, probably a lot more even set of heifers. The heifer we start out the class is the most complete heifer from front to back. I really like her from her nose right back to her tail. She's got a real nice long spine and a good wide base. She moves out real free and travels real nice. The heifer that follows her maybe a little more depth of rib, but I'd like to clean her up a little bit in her neck and stuff to beat the heifer in front of her. And the heifer I have in third place is probably the toughest heifer to place in the class. When she comes in and you first get your eyes on her, you really, really like her. You got to really admire her for length of body and length of spine. I just like to give her a little more flex in her pasterns in her front and back legs there. Move out any freer. The heifers that follow just a little bit shallower in their rib makeup and a little bit shorter in their spine.
In the Charlet ring, the class that has just left, in first place was ring number 7 for Brian Coughlin, Corner View Charlet, with Corner View Tansy 51E. In second place goes to Doug Briggs from Echo Springs Charlet, with Echo Springs Ember 76E. In third place, Chester Tupling from Rolling Acres Charlet, with Rolling Acres Crystal 43E. In fourth place, for Brian Coughlin, Corner View Charlet, Corner View Tansy 49E. And in fifth place, for Doug Briggs, Echo Springs Charlet, was Echo Springs Serendipity 38E. And in sixth place, for Frank DeGurse Farms, was DeGurse Espinada 3E. Now in the ring is heat number 2 of female calves born between January 1st, 2017 and February 28th, 2017. From our final heat of intermediate showmen, the following 4-H members will return for the semifinals. Ring number 83, Matthew Phibbs from Haldeman. Ring number 139, Katie Elmhurst from Peterborough. And ring number 149, Bert Raven from Dufferin. We're going to take a 5-minute break before we commence with semifinals heat number 1. That's a 5-minute break on the north side. Wow. In the Charlet Ring, we'd like to thank our sponsors for the show today, Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, as well as Masterfeeds. Judging our Charlet show today is Alan Marshall from Red Deer, Alberta.
So we start this class, the last division of heifer calves, with the heifer that, again, I think she comes to the top pretty easy. She's certainly complete. You got to really love her through that front end, and she shows a lot of muscle expression, got that depth of body and that length and that femininity. Got a real nice set to her, from her hooks to her pins, and her tail head sits in there real well. Lots of capacity and levelness and smoothness and a wide base. The heifer we have in second is kind of a pretty heifer. Maybe just gives up a little bit in performance and a little bit coming out of the front end, a little shorter in the neck than the heifer above her, but a heifer with a lot of style and eye appeal and probably really going to produce well. We go into a heifer that's a little bit of a trouble heifer in the class, just walking not maybe quite as freely as I'd like to see on the back legs today, but heifer that's certainly lots of muscle expression. Into two heifers here, just really move real free, the kind that are going to make great cows and live for a long time because they certainly are structurally sound and working well. And a heifer in the end of the class, just maybe a frame size tick bigger than we need to be at this point in time.
First place goes to Kyle Stevenson, Stevenson Stock Show with SSS Envious 1E. And second place goes to Brian Aiken, Bridor Charlets with Bridor Emmy 22E. And in third place for Southview Farms, Miss Southview Maloney. In fourth place for R. Brian Hicks, Hicks Charlet, Hicks Elegance 7E. In fifth place, for Wanda Snoblin, Dudgeon Snoblin Landing Cattle, is WSS Elise 745E. And in sixth place, Bradley Fergus, Fergus Family Charlet, with Fergus Evening 2E.